Good afternoon, everyone. We would like to welcome you to the retirement meeting for 2020 for the Hamilton County Schools. First up, we have Faye McCullough and Gwen Gregory. They will be talking to you for just a minute about the Hamilton County Education Association. And then after they speak for just a minute, Jeff Flowers from TCRS will talk to you about TCRS.
Faye and I represent the Chattanooga-Hamilton County Retired Teachers Association. We are the oldest and one of the largest teacher retirement associations in the state, and we welcome you to retirement when you take that big step. Our function is to enjoy retirement, and we try to safeguard those pensions and other benefits that we get as retirees. So we hope that you will consider joining. We have an annual picnic on, well, this year it'd be the second day of school. We always like to celebrate the idea that we are not in school that day. So anyway, we hope that you'll join us, and Faye has a few remarks.
That picnic will be on August the 13th at 10 o'clock at Chester Frost Park. We usually have about 200 people that come celebrate being retired, and we hope you will join us. I will put an invitation in some of your mailings, so you be watching for that, and I hope you'll come join us. We have 500 members here in the Chattanooga area, and we love supporting public education and making sure, watching the legislatures and making sure they take care of our retirement pension. So enjoy.
Thank you.
So now we'll have Jeff Flowers from TCRS, and I forgot to mention earlier, if you have a question, we'll have a question and answer session at the end, but if you are tech savvy and you want to get your phone out, you can go to this website, slido.com, and you can type that code in, and that question will come to us through a laptop, and we can answer it. If there's a question that you want to ask anonymously, you can do that. And for the viewers that are viewing us via live stream, this is how you will ask questions. So I will turn it over to Jeff.
I'm going to use this. Hello. Hey, my name is Jeff Flowers. I work for Empower Retirement. We actually run the state's 401k and 457 program, but we work under the brand name of Retire Ready Tennessee. And basically, our job is to talk about TCRS with teachers, state employees, anybody using the TCRS system, and help with the 401k, 457 plans as well. So we're just going to go over a brief overview of TCRS, what you can expect from it, and how it all works at retirement time. So TCRS, state pension plan, defined benefit plan. You are putting 5% of your pay into the plan. Your benefits are calculated by a formula at retirement time, and the state is basically taking all the investment risk. So it's not like your 401k or 403b account that's moving up and down with the market. Your benefits are guaranteed to you through the set formula by the state. So what determines your TCRS benefit? Three things. Your average final compensation. This is the average of your highest 60 consecutive months worth of pay. Wherever that is at in your career, it does have to be a consecutive 60 months. That's what they use. Okay. Your years of service. Every day that you work, you get credit for it. And then your age at retirement counts for either taking a reduced benefit or an unreduced benefit. Okay. Keep in mind, on these factors, nowhere in there does it come into play the money that you're contributing into the plan. That really has no bearing on how much you get out of it down the road. other than through possible death benefits, okay? So, legacy plan. These are hired before July 1st, 2014. Is there anybody in here on the hybrid plan that they know they're on the hybrid plan, hired after July 1st, 2014? Few? Okay. Okay, so then I won't skip that part. So, legacy plan, 5-year vesting period, full retirement. This is an unreduced benefit check. When I say full retirement, it just means it is unreduced. Age 60 or 30 years of service. Okay. Early retirement can start as early as age 55 as long as you're vested. And then you do have the option of a 25-year early retirement. That check is reduced quite a bit if you did take that 25-year early and you're not 55 yet. It is a pretty hefty reduction on that benefit check. The formula for legacy plan employees is this. Take your average final compensation, multiply it by your years of service, and you multiply that by 1.575%. So what it boils down to is this. You work 30 years, TCRS replaces 47.25% of your income, of your high five in retirement, okay? That is a maximum benefit that you can get. If you add a survivorship option that we'll talk about in a second to it, you take a reduction off of that, okay? And this would assume, that formula would assume that you are over age 60 or you have 30 years of service, okay? If you are not, do not have 30 years of service or you're under age 60, they're going to put your numbers into that formula and then start taking reductions based on your age at that time, okay? So the hybrid plan overview is this. You're still putting 5% of your pay into it, TCRS. You still have the same 5-year vesting period, but now your retirement age is now age 65 to get a full unreduced benefit check, and the formula is different. However, under the hybrid plan, you don't get as much of a TCRS guaranteed income check, but you do get a contribution into the 401k on your behalf, okay? So hybrid plan, the formula is the same except for it's just 1%. So somebody works 30 years under the hybrid plan, they only get 30% of their pay per year in retirement. Okay, so when you get ready to retire, you've got a couple different options on how you want to receive your check. The maximum amount is that benefit there, the formula there. That benefit is payable to you for your lifetime. If you pass away, there's no more checks going to anybody other than the last check, okay? So if you choose that member-only option, the most that you could get, you pass away, nobody else is receiving a check for their lifetime, okay? Social Security leveling is available. We don't talk about it much. I will say that if you are considering it, have TCRS run those numbers for you and make sure that it works for you. Basically, they will pay you a little bit extra until age 62, and then the assumption is that you pick up Social Security then, and TCRS drops their amount way down, okay? On the joint and survivor plans, if you want somebody else to receive a check, a beneficiary, it doesn't have to be a spouse, it can be anybody, it just has to be a person, then there are 4 options for you to choose from. And I'm going to go over these in a little bit more graphical form in a minute. But option 1, you choose that, you take a reduced amount for your lifetime. You pass away, your named beneficiary receives that same amount for the rest of their lifetime. Option 2, you take a reduced amount for your lifetime, beneficiary receives 50% for the rest of their lifetime. With options 1 and 2, if your beneficiaries pass away first, you do not get to name a new beneficiary. Okay? The checks are just payable for your lifetime then as well. Options 3 and 4 work the same way in that options 1 and 2 do, in that your beneficiaries would get 100% or 50% of your amount. However, if you've chosen option 3 and 4 at retirement time, then if your beneficiary passes first, then you would go back up to the maximum amount for the rest of your lifetime. Okay? So it's important that you select a beneficiary at retirement. You can now name multiple beneficiaries on TCRS. When you get ready to decide what option you're going to select, you can name multiple kids or whoever you want to on there, on it. So after you are retired, you start receiving checks. You do get a cost of living adjustment. It doesn't happen every year. It can happen every year. It happens every July 1st. It can be up to 3% per year. This past year was 2.1, I believe. The year before that was 1.9. You do have to be retired 12 months in order to get the first cost of living. So if you're retired at the end of the school year, should be good to get your first cost of living the following July. If you want to come back to work after retirement, you're allowed to do that. If you want to work for a TCRS covered entity, so K through 12, higher ed, any state job, Hamilton County government, you are limited to the equivalent of 120 days in a 12-month period. So if you work an 8-hour day, that is 960 hours. In a 12-month period, you're allowed to work. And you make up to about 60% of your final year income in retirement, and it does not affect your TCRS benefit. If you want to go work somewhere else outside of TCRS, Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, something like that, you can do that as much as you want to. It does not affect TCRS. Okay? Everybody gets disability benefits. If something should happen to you while you are still working, you may be eligible for a disability benefit. And then survivor benefits. So while you're still working, it is important that you know who your beneficiary is on your TCRS account, or at least know that you have a beneficiary on your TCRS account. Because if something were to happen to you while you are still working, the money that you've contributed into the plan needs to go to somebody. Otherwise, it's just going to go into your estate and can be taxable, and the government can get a lot more of it. Okay? So, important to know, if you don't know who it is, go to the website, log in, double check, make sure you know who your beneficiary is. So new procedures now for retirement. I think this may have been in place last year, but this year they're really pushing for everybody to retire online and forego the paperwork. You log into mytcrs.com, log into your TCRS account, fill out your retirement application there. Okay. You need to know your retirement date, your banking account information, and your beneficiary's name and information and all that. You also need to know which option you're going to select, right? The best way to know which option you're going to select is to have TCRS run you a benefit estimate. Okay, we cannot do that in the field. We can kind of calculate your maximum benefit, but if you want to know what your survivorship benefits are going to be, If you want to add your spouse or something onto that, TCRS has to calculate that. Okay, and it is taking them at least 60 days now to do those. Okay, so if you're looking at retiring at the end of this year, I'd be calling tomorrow and requesting that benefit estimate. And hopefully they get it to you sometime in March on it. The number for TCRS is right there, the 800-922-7772. That is how you contact TCRS and request that benefit estimate. Can you put up the benefit estimate? I do have a sample copy of a benefit estimate that Lori's going to put up here for us. I want to take a look at, show you guys what you could expect on it. So this individual has 29 years and 8 months of service. Okay. Their high five, their AFC, in the middle of the page on the left is $50,260. If they were to take their maximum benefit, it is $1,957. They take that amount, they pass away, there's no more checks going to anybody else. They choose option one, beneficiary or the member, the employee would receive $1,740. Employee passes away, the named beneficiary would get $1,740 for the rest of their lifetime. Okay? Option two, you don't take as much of a reduction. It's $1,842, but the beneficiary only gets half. Now, options 3 and 4, can you scroll that up just a little bit? There we go. Options 3 and 4, the employee gets $1,701 for their lifetime. They pass away, beneficiary receives $1,701. However, in option 3, if the beneficiary passes first, the member goes back up to the $1,957 for the rest of their lifetime. And then option 4 works the same way, except that the beneficiary would only get half of the amount. No. In this example, this person is over 60, so there's no reduction. They just put 29 years, 8 months into here. That's what he'd worked, and okay. So there is a benefit, I believe, to working, well, I don't know how your insurance works, but there may be a benefit to actually getting the full 30 years in for benefit or insurance purposes. But the difference between 29 years and 8 months and 30 years is going to be very, very minimal if you're over the age of 60. Okay. Yes. So if you're, like I say, TCRS will run those for you if you're within 3 years of retirement. Used to be 5 years. They've cut that down to 3 years. And once you get that, you can schedule a meeting with individuals in Knoxville or Nashville to basically go over that benefit estimate with you, answer any questions, help you with the retirement application, anything like that. But if you're not within 3 years of retirement, what do you do? This is a sample of a TCRS annual statement. So hopefully everybody's seen one of these at one point at a time or another. This can be found at mytcrs.com when you log in. They used to mail them to you. Now they're all online. This is the relevant page. On here, it's page 3. The new statements, it's page 4. I just want to go over this real quick because I get this, the most common question that we get is how do we read this? So that top box, the top set of boxes, June 23rd, 2026 is this person's 60th birthday, okay? These statements are run every June 30th or calculated as of June 30th of every year, and they're put out and made available to you sometime in September, usually. So in this example, in that top box, that assumes that that person had quit work June 30th, 2015, worked no more under TCRS, let his benefits sit there, and started it up at age 60. They would have gotten $991. Okay. Down below that, your projected benefit, the top box there, the first eligible benefit, is this person's 55th birthday. So they would have gotten, if they'd worked all the way up until their age 55 birthday, they would get $1,204 a month. If they go all the way to 60 and continue working, they would get $1,945 a month. The annual statement is a great way to just take a look and see what your projected benefit is going to be. Keep in mind, though, it is only the maximum benefit. It does not include any survivorship options or anything like that, but just a general idea of your maximum benefit. Okay? So I covered all that really quick. I'll stop for questions. I'm sure there's a few. Yes. Your 12-month teacher? Yeah, you get credit for the full 12 months, though. You put your retirement date as May 22nd, but you get credit for the full 12 months. Yep. No, I believe it should be for teachers, should be the last day that you are in the classroom. Yeah, okay.
Can you repeat that question?
The question was, what should your retirement date be? The last day you're in the classroom, or July 31st, or sometime in the summer? Chris is going to go over all that in a minute. For certified, yeah. For classified, should be whenever you want to retire. Yeah. Well, I'm going to let Krista address that.
So for classified employees, it depends on whether you're school-based or a 12-month calendar. So a school-based employee would use that last day of school, the last day that teachers report. Sorry, is it better? Okay, the classified employees that are school-based would use the last day that teachers report at the end of the school year. If you are a 12-month employee, you would use June 30th. Okay?
TCRS questions. I will be here afterwards. Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk about Hamilton County Schools retirement benefits, and we'll hold questions till the end if you don't mind, and we'll go over all the questions then. So on retirement benefits, just make sure that if you are interested in asking a question through the online process, just go ahead and do it this way at the end. See if we can get this to advance. Okay, so the first thing you need to do when you're deciding to retire is to go ahead and provide your supervisor with a written intent that you are planning to retire. You can do that through email or by a handwritten note or typed out note, however you want to do that. Just make sure you also copy your HR representative. If you don't know who your HR representative is, Sarah Garman is here from HR and she can help address those questions, or you can just call us and we can get you the right name of the person to copy for submitting your intent to retire. So the next thing you need to do is to go ahead and submit your application online to TCRS. Those usually take about 60 days to process, so you want to go ahead and get that in the pipeline as soon as you possibly can. And there's the web address to get to the retirement application. Jeff showed you that a little earlier in his presentation. Then next, you'll need to note on your retirement application, they used to be paper applications and now it's online, and I'm not even sure if this is included in the online process, but teachers that are on the state health plan will have something in their application indicating whether they want to continue with that state health plan. That doesn't apply to us. Our health insurance with Hamilton County Schools is not through the state health plan. So if you see that on your TCRS application, just ignore that. Then the next thing is if you have any questions regarding your benefit amount or which option to choose, Jeff left his contact information for you on the previous presentation. You can also call TCRS. He had that number up on his presentation as well. It's also on our website at hcde.org if you need to look for that information. Okay, so each of the presentations that we have today, as well as the live stream event in its entirety, will be on our website. We'll get that up in just a few days, so you can start looking for that then. If you want to watch it again or look at the slides again, you certainly can do that. And if you have any questions after this presentation, just feel free to give Lori a call, and her number is there on the screen. She'll be happy to help you with any questions that come up after the presentation. So as a retiree, if you have met the qualifications for retirement, you are going to be eligible for different things through the benefits department. One of the things we're going to talk about in a little while is COBRA. We're going to talk about health plans. We're going to talk about our dental reimbursement plan for retirees, our IMED vision plan for retirees, our flexible spending account and how you can continue that after you retire. Also, we'll talk a little bit about the difference between the post-retirement health plan and COBRA and what that means to you. And then finally, if you have any life insurance through Hamilton County Schools, we'll talk a little bit about how that works and whether you might be interested in converting that when you retire. So first of all, COBRA. COBRA is an abbreviation for an act that was passed back in the 80s that just requires employers to offer continuation coverage when an employee leaves employment, whether it be through resigning or retiring. So COBRA is an option available to you because you'll be retiring through Hamilton County Schools. It's just a federal law. So that applies to our medical, dental, vision, and flexible spending accounts. Now, with our medical plan, we also have something called a post-retirement health plan, which is basically retiree health insurance. So for most of you that are retiring, you have enough years of service to qualify you for a subsidized rate. So more than likely, if you're eligible for that post-retirement health plan, that's going to be a better deal than COBRA. Even though COBRA is an option and it's a federal law that we have to offer that to you, we're going to offer you something a little bit better, more than likely, if you're eligible for that post-retirement health plan. So it's just identical coverage. There's no difference in the coverage. It's the same health plans that you have available to you now as an active employee will be the same health plans that you have available to you through COBRA and the same health plan that you'll have available to you through the post-retirement health plan. It's just different subgroups that we use to identify whether someone is active or retired or has resigned for some reason or not eligible for retiree health plan. So if you are eligible for the post-retirement health plan, again, that will more than likely be the best rate for you. If you're not, you still are eligible to continue your health plan through COBRA. And in addition to health plans, we also offer the vision plan, the flexible spending account, and the dental reimbursement plan through COBRA. So the qualifications to be eligible for that post-retirement health plan that we were talking about are that you have to either be 55 years of age or have 30 years of service with Hamilton County Schools. You have to be under the age of 65 to be eligible for that post-retirement health plan. And you cannot be entitled to Medicare regardless of age. Some people become eligible for Medicare early due to disability or some other reason. So if you're eligible for Medicare, you're not eligible for our post-retirement health plan. So if you're already 65 or older, then you have some options. You can choose to continue your coverage through COBRA. If you're already 65 or older or eligible for Medicare, you're already receiving Medicare Part A, and you're also eligible to enroll in Medicare Part B and a supplement and a drug plan. you will more than likely find that to be less expensive than electing COBRA for our health plan. So you'll more than likely want to continue your coverage through Medicare rather than choosing COBRA, but that's always an option that's available to you. Most of you are aware that we do have a supplement that is available to our employees through the state of Tennessee. It's called POMCO, or it's administered by POMCO. Certified employees with many years of service will find that they are receiving a subsidized rate for that POMCO plan and may find that to be the best plan for them. That POMCO plan does not include drug coverage, so you would still need to purchase a drug plan, but many of our certified employees do choose that POMCO supplement if you are over 65 and eligible for Medicare. So with our post-retirement health plan, dependents are eligible to continue coverage for that as well as our retiring employees. So if you're eligible for that post-retirement health plan and your spouse is also under age 65 and not eligible for Medicare, they can be covered on the health plan until they become 65 or become eligible for Medicare. If you have dependent children that are under the age of 26, they can continue to be covered on our health plan, our dental plan, our vision plan, et cetera, until they reach the age of 26. And just remember that spousal coverage affidavit that's been required every year as an active employee will still be required for retirees as well that are continuing to cover a spouse on health insurance. So with that spousal coverage affidavit, you'll remember that this year it changed just a little bit. Spouses that have coverage offered to them through their own employer are not eligible for a health plan. But if their coverage that is offered to them through their own employer is a high deductible plan only, then they may be eligible for our health plan at an increased cost with a surcharge. So just a little bit different than it has been in the past, but those rules will apply to retirees as well as active employees. So how long can you continue your benefits? So through the retiree health plan, you can continue those benefits until you're age 65 or eligible for Medicare. So also for your dependents, till they're age 26 if they're children, or until your spouse is age 65 or eligible for Medicare. So under COBRA, you can continue your benefits for 18 months. So if you elect dental or vision coverage, that will be through COBRA, and those benefits will be available to you for 18 months. So the flexible spending account that some of you may have elected for 2020, if you are retiring in the tax year 2020, there are special rules related to the flexible spending account. You may be eligible to continue that through COBRA through the end of the tax year. So just give us a call and we can talk you through that if you've elected a flexible spending account for 2020. Yes? More than likely, that's going to be the best idea for you, yes. Okay, so in addition to our health plan and our IMED plan and our dental plan and all of that stuff, and we also have life insurance through Hamilton County Schools. And if you have life insurance through Hamilton County Schools, that is a term life insurance policy. When you leave employment through retirement or resigning, that policy ends. So there are some ways that you can continue that life insurance policy. For most retirees, it will be through conversion to a whole life policy, which is very different than a term life policy. A whole life policy has cash value associated with it, so the premiums are much higher. You will find that those premiums are going to be age-rated more than likely, and people that are retiring are generally older, so those premiums are going to be high. And it may not be something that you can afford. There are other options besides converting your policy to a whole life policy. If you need help trying to find life insurance elsewhere, then we can certainly direct you to a couple of options that you might want to look at. In addition to converting your policy to a whole life policy, some employees that are retiring are going to be under the age of 60, and you may be able to continue your life insurance by porting that coverage. That's a lot less expensive because it's not a whole life policy. So here are the rules for portability on our life insurance policy through the standard. If you are interested in doing that, you could give them a call. We've got their number on this slide right here. You cannot be disabled. You have to be under the age of 65, and if you're interested in doing that, that's another option that may be available to you. So, when do retiree benefits begin? So, for most of you that are school-based, that are finishing out the school year, we will continue to cover you as an active employee on all of our benefits through August 31st. So that means your retiree benefits will begin on September 1st. Now, some of you here may be on a 12-month calendar, or maybe work at the central office or something like that. For those employees, your benefits will end on June 30th, and most of you will be retiring on June 30th, and your benefits will end on June 30th. If for some reason you're retiring prior to that, say you're going to retire on March 15th, then your benefits just continue through the end of the month that you retire, March 30th in this case. You still can't hear me? I'm so sorry. Thanks for letting me know. If you decide to retire prior to the end of the school year, then your benefits just continue through the end of that month, and then your retiree benefits will start on the first day of the following month. Okay? So final paychecks and salary payouts. So every employee that is retiring will receive a salary payout if you're on expanded pay for our school-based employees. That expanded paycheck, I believe, is June 12th. Is that right? June 12th is when you'll receive that final paycheck that's a salary payout for your expanded pay that will take the place of your normal summer paychecks. So that is different from your sick leave payout and your personal leave payout. Those will come a little bit later in June, and they'll be separate checks. But you will get that final expanded pay payout on June 12th. If you have any questions about that, we do have Wesley Simmons here with us from payroll, and his number is up on the slide if you want to call him later, but he can answer questions at the end of the presentation. And so next, Lori is going to talk a little bit about what to expect on your invoice for the benefits that you elect. Okay, so the question was about the final paycheck. If you're a school-based employee and you are on expanded pay where you normally receive paychecks through the summer, instead of receiving those summer paychecks, you'll get a final salary payout of all that expanded pay on June 12th. And that's only if you retire early enough, if you announce your retirement early enough. If you wait until the end of May to announce that you're retiring, then they will not have time to process that final paycheck. You'll still get expanded pay all summer long.
Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about retiree billing. But we're going to put these presentations on our website, so you can go and view those, and this live stream will be put on our website as well, so you can go back and view all this information. So the Human Resource Department, they notify us when you are going to retire, and we get a notification, and you will get a email with all your retirement packet in that email, and it will have all the information you need to elect your benefits. And once you get that email, I'll show you a statement. This is what it will look like, and this is the portion that you'll get back to me. And it will have, if it's just you, it will have just you on there. If you have dependents, it will have your dependents. And it will have check marks by what you currently have elected. And what you want to keep, you'll put a circle around those. And then you'll fill out the information, and you can either scan and email that back to me. You can put it in the mail, put it in the pony. You can just send that back to me, and I will get it processed for you. And also in the benefit packet, there will be the life insurance conversion information, and it will talk about the COBRA information as well. And like Krista said, dental and IMED are for 18 months only. They are COBRA elections. So you return that to me, and I will get you all set up. And if you are school-based, your benefits will start on September 1st. If you are central office maintenance, a 12-month employee, your benefits will start on July 1st. And if you enroll and then you decide later that you're going to drop your coverage, you cannot re-enroll after that. Once you drop it, we can't add you back to the plan. And if you do not enroll when you first have the opportunity, You have 60 days to let us know, and on that notice, that date will be on there, and if it goes past that date, then we can't enroll you in our retiree plan. So retiree billing statements are sent out quarterly, so every 3 months, you will get an invoice from me. And so if you are a school-based employee, your first invoice will be for 1 month only because it will be July, August, and September. So you will only be billed for September only since your insurance runs through August 31st. If you are a central office based or a 12-month employee, your first statement will be for July, August, and September, and it will be for 3 months. You can divide that amount by 3 and pay it monthly if you want to, or you can pay it all at one time. It's up to you how you want to pay it. It just has to be paid within that month, and you have a 30-day grace period. For non-payment of insurance, once we turn your insurance off, we can't turn it back on. So make sure that we don't send out monthly reminders as of now, so make sure that you remember to pay it. If you don't, I try to call people when I see that they're getting close to being cut off, so just make sure that you set yourself a reminder to pay that insurance. If you have an address change, please notify me in the benefits department so that your statement comes to the correct address. And also make sure that your employee ID number and the same employee ID number that you have now is the one that you will keep after you retire with us. So make sure that that number is on your payment. We take check, cash, and money order as of now. And also, we are not able to bank draft any insurance premiums. So a lot of retirees set it up through their banking online, but you have to do that through your bank. We don't have any control over that. We don't have any say in what comes out of your account. What normally happens is the retiree sets it up through their online banking, and then it comes out of your account and they send us a check. So a lot of retirees do that, and that way it just comes out monthly and that they send us a check. And this is what the statement looks like. You can see up at the top, that's where our information is. And then this person has retiree medical, dental, and IMED. So that's what it will look like on your statement. And then down at the bottom, it has the statement date and the amount due and your employee ID number on there in case you forget after you retire and don't have to do time card anymore. And this is the information about where to send the payments to. My information is up there. You can also find me on the email, and my cards are out on the table outside. There are options for dental coverage after your 18 months runs out for your Cobra Dental through Hamilton County Schools. The state of Tennessee offers some options for dental. They have Cigna and MetLife, and it is through Palmco, so you can contact them to find out more about that if you are interested in the dental program after your Cobra runs out of your dental reimbursement plan that we offer you. So I know you all are probably chomping at the bit to come back to work. If you are and you want to be a sub, we have a new system. Subs are not hired through Hamilton County Schools anymore. They are hired through a company called ESS. And I have the cards up here with me if you're interested in doing that. After you retire, you will apply through that company, and you can work more than the 120 days. You can work as many days as you want to. So if you're interested in that, I have these cards up front. And the contact information is up on the screen as well. And we have 2 representatives that are at central office, but they work for this company. So now we're going to have question and answers. We will take some questions from the group, and then we will take some questions from the online.
Okay, I think we skipped one slide on voluntary policies. If anybody has a policy through Washington National or Liberty National on their payroll deductions on their paycheck, just make sure you make arrangements with them to continue that policy after you retire. And the contact information is on that slide. It'll be on our website in a few days. If you don't have anything to write it down, you can certainly do that. So first question, let's just see if we have any questions via live stream. Allison, do you have a question yet? Gotcha. Okay, so the question is about a combined service. If you've worked for another school system before and have years of service with another school system in addition to Hamilton County Schools, that's fine, and that counts towards your 30 years of service. But the payroll deduction amount, or not the payroll deduction amount, I'm so sorry, I'm losing it. The amount that we charge you for benefits, for health insurance when you retire is based on your years of service with Hamilton County. So for certified employees, you may have picked up a rate table outside at the front table. If you're watching via live stream, you can find that on our website, also under retirement. There's a rate table for different types of coverage, whether you're on the Cigna HMO plan or the Blue Cross PPO plan or the high deductible plan. And you'll see on that rate table that there are different rates depending upon your years of service. And you'll find that there are different rate tables for classified and for certified employees. So those years of service with Hamilton County are what determines how much you pay for health insurance. But the years of service that you've had with other agencies within Tennessee or with the school system outside of Tennessee count toward your total years of service with TCRS. Okay, any questions from the live audience? Yes, ma'am.
Who is the person in HR we need to contact if we're classified?
So the HR contact for classified employees is Doreen Lacey. Any other questions from the audience?
Okay, so I teach adjunct faculty for another TCRS institution. Does that affect anything about my service?
So the question was that she has an additional position, part-time position, somewhere probably with the state of Tennessee, adjunct faculty. More than likely it doesn't affect your service because it's probably not eligible for TCRS, but I would contact the state of Tennessee at the number that we provided earlier and ask them about that. Other questions? Yes. Kimberly, do you want to see if you can get in?
Along the lines of transferring years from another school system, can you speak a little bit towards doing the same thing towards years from another state, for example, Georgia?
Yes, so the same answer basically applies. If you have years of service that you've transferred from Georgia, you'll need to discuss that with TCRS, but more than likely those years of service do count towards your creditable service with TCRS, but your years of service within Hamilton County are the years of service that determine your health insurance rate once you retire if you choose to be on our health plan.
Krista,
Yes.
you can do that. It's very, very expensive. Call TCRS and they'll give you a quote on it or factor up how much it's going to cost, but it is the most expensive way to purchase service in TCRS.
So in other words, Jeff is saying you would need to buy that service from another state to have it creditable towards your TCRS.
I know on that form, there's a place you can mark if you're retired. So if we have kids in college still, do they still get that Tennessee teacher discount?
Okay, Sarah, I think that might be a question for you. If for retirees that still have children in college, do they still get the tuition discount?
Depends on years of service. If you have 30 years of service, they still get the tuition discount.
Okay, any other questions from our live stream audience? That's okay. Okay, so the question was, can you defer benefits until age 60? I'm trying to understand what they mean by that. So you would take your full service retirement at age 60 or with 30 years of service with TCRS, so deferring benefits. So if you wanted to retire at 55, let's say, and you wanted to wait and elect benefits at age 60, you would not be able to do that. So hopefully I answered that question via live stream. If you're listening and I did not understand the question, please reply back to Allison so we can make sure we get that answered correctly.
If you plan to retire at the end of the school year, what order do you go in? The first thing you do is submit a letter to your supervisor, right? And then also submit a letter to Miss Lacey. Is that correct?
So if you are retiring and you're a classified employee and you want to just send an email to your supervisor and copy Doreen Lacey, that would work
Okay,
fine.
and then after that, what steps do you go to make sure you process out correctly?
So the next step would be to complete your TCRS retirement application online. And then they notify us that you've submitted that application, and then they ask us to provide our portion of that application.
Okay, now is that the only thing I need to do?
Is that it? So yeah, Sarah from HR is nodding yes. Those are the two things you need to do. Any other questions from the audience? All right, any other live stream questions?
I think we have one back, Krista.
Is it true you can use sick leave as part of your years of service? Your sick leave.
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Is it true that you can use sick leave for part of your years of service?
Yes, you can use sick leave. There are some rules about that. You can use up to 20, is that right, Sarah? 20 days? 20 days of sick leave to get to your years of service. Are there any other rules about sick leave? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this back and make sure I got this right, and Sarah's going to correct me if I've got it wrong. You can use up to 20 days of sick leave to get to your years of service.
You can use more. TCRS. Yes.
Per month. You can use up to 20 days of sick leave per month to get to your years of service. Now, in addition to that, if you submit your retirement application prior to February 1st, sorry.
Okay, sorry. If you submit your retirement notice to HR by February 1st, then you will receive $40 a day for your sick leave. That's only if you finish out your contract year. So if you're a teacher, school-based, that's May 22nd. If you're an administrator or a 12-month employee, it's June 30th or whatever the last day of your calendar year is. If it's submitted after the February 1st, it's only $20 a day. But that's a Hamilton County thing.
So as far as TCRS is concerned, the 20 days, every 20 days of sick time that you have equals 1 month of service. So if you put in 29 years in the classroom, you have a year's sick time, you've got 30 years of service for TCRS. As a teacher, if you're on a 10-month contract teacher, you only need 200 days to equal the full year, not the 240.
Okay, sure. You want to tell me?
Yeah, if you're going to retire at the end of this year, let's say in May, so how far into the year does the medical coverage go, the health insurance? When does it stop? If you are retiring?
So you can put whatever retirement date you want, but your resignation, like your retirement date for Hamilton County is going to be May 22nd. That's the last day you worked. But if for some reason your birthday is, June 30th and you need to put July 1st for retirement reasons, that is perfectly fine. But it'll work out about the same, right?
Yes.
Okay, we have one question from the audience. If you are age 65 when you're retiring and you'll be coming off of our medical plan and going on to Medicare, what is the last day that you'll be covered under our medical plan? So if you are a school-based employee and your last day of work is that last day of school that teachers report, your benefits continue through August 31st as an active employee, and you'll need to elect Medicare Part B and a supplement and a drug plan effective September 1st. And the Social Security Administration gets confused by school teachers because they think because your last day of work is the end of May that your benefits are ending at the end of May, and that is not correct. We continue to cover you through the month of August. So your Medicare Part B, supplement, and drug plan do not need to be effective until September 1st. Okay, so for central office people that work 12 months, your last day of benefits as an active employee will be June 30th. So your benefits with Medicare Part B, your supplement, and your drug plan will need to start on July 1st. Yes, ma'am.
My husband is on my insurance as well, so it will be the same thing for him as well. We're both 65.
Right, correct. So if your spouse is 65, it will be the same thing. Their coverage will continue through August 31st if you're a school-based employee, and through June 30th if you are a 12-month employee.
When we write the letter of written intent, I'm assuming that goes to the principal, right? And who would be our HR rep? How do we find that out?
Just get with Sarah afterwards, and she can tell you which HR representative covers your school.
Also, POMCO. Does that include dental insurance with POMCO?
Okay, so POMCO does not include dental insurance. So there's a couple of different issues with dental insurance. We offer that dental reimbursement plan to all retirees regardless of your age for 18 months. It's a subsidized rate. We only charge retirees $15 per person per month. So if it's you and a spouse, it's $30 per month. If it's you and a spouse and a child, it's $45 per month, etc. You keep that for 18 months. After your 18 months of dental coverage is finished through our reimbursement plan, you're eligible for the state dental plan, and you can elect that. And if you are interested in that, just contact us after your 18 months is up, and we can give you contact information. I believe it's also on the TCRS website as well, where you can get that information. Now, a side item on dental, just because you asked, some of the Medicare Advantage plans are covering some dental services. So those of you who are eligible for Medicare may be looking at some of those Medicare Advantage plans, and they do also cover some dental services. So just be aware of that as well. Any other questions from the audience? One through live stream? Okay.
It was, how are the benefits taxed?
How are TCRS benefits taxed? Jeff, I believe that's you.
They are federal income taxed only. So no Social Security, no Medicare, just federal income tax. TCRS can withhold taxes or not. It's up to you. You tell us how much, either a dollar amount, a percentage, or like your paycheck is now, married, zero dependents, whatever that looks like, and they calculate it and send it to IRS.
If you come back retired part-time or retired full-time and you're receiving TCRS monthly checks, you will not have federal income tax withheld from your checks that you're receiving from Hamilton County because it's being withheld from TCRS. So just remember that if you come back.
Okay, as I'm walking up here to get this question, just remember, if you're interested in substituting, that does not count toward the 120-day limit. So you can substitute as many days as you'd like to.
I apologize if I missed it, but if you went out of Hamilton County to teach and then came back, how does that go for the years? And also, for those years I was away from ACS, I still was under TCRS. So how does that work in this scenario? Is that I just need to worry about me?
Jeff, do you want to take that one, or Sarah?
I couldn't hear it.
So he has some years of service. Previously, he left Hamilton County Schools, worked for another TCRS agency, and came back to Hamilton County Schools, and he wants to know how that calculates up.
When did you come back to Hamilton County? Okay. So you should all be under the legacy plan. As long as you work for a TCRS entity, it all counts towards your time. They will calculate your benefit. So if you've got service with two different entities, they're going to do two different calculations. So you actually get like 3 benefit estimates. You get one for one entity, one for the other, and a combined summary benefit estimate. You just get one check at the end of the month, though.
All right, so I'm walking back here. I think we might have some more questions in the back. Go
I
ahead,
want to
Sarah.
correct what I said. I said federal income tax, but I meant Social Security tax will not be taken out of your check from Hamilton County. Federal income tax will be taken out. I apologize.
So while I'm looking for another person who has a question, I just want to remind everyone, you will receive a benefit enrollment form as a retiree by email. So watch your email towards the end of the school year so you can get that benefit enrollment form. And just remember, on that benefit enrollment form, we're going to ask you for your contact information after you retire. If anybody's moving out of state, just make sure we have that corrected address. Make sure we have a good personal email address for you and a good telephone number outside of your school telephone number. Any questions back here? Okay, if anybody has any individual questions, do we have anything through live stream? Okay.
They want to know how the sick leave is paid out.
How the sick leave is paid out. Okay, so sick leave days will be paid out if you notify Hamilton County Schools that you plan to retire and that notification is received prior to February 1st. You'll be paid $40 per day for your unused sick leave time. You will receive that payment in late June. The payout for expanded pay will be on June 12th, and that sick leave payment will be somewhere following June 12th. We don't have an exact date for that yet, do we, Wesley? Last check of June? On their last check, okay. So on their last regular check, not on their payout check. Okay. Yes.
If you are using your sick leave to have an extra year, and you have extra sick leave left over, do you receive $40 for that also?
So the question was, Sarah, you may want to help me with this. She's using sick leave to get to an extra year of service, and then she'll have some additional days. Will she get $40 for all of those days, or just the days that she didn't use to get to her years of service? All of the days. So you get $40 a day for all the days. Yes. Happy surprise there on her face. Okay, any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
When do you start getting your retirement checks?
Okay, so you will have to indicate on your retirement application the day that you plan to retire and the date that you would like to receive your first check. And as long as you get that retirement application submitted within the 60-day deadline, they will try to get your check to you on the day that you indicate on your application.
Your TCRS check is always going to come the last business day of the month. Yes. And your first check should come, so if you retire May 23rd is your retirement date, you should get a partial check potentially at the end of May, but you should get a first full check end of June. And if you don't get that first partial check in May, they do a run of checks in the middle of the month, get all those folks that didn't get their check, their partial check. So you might get a partial check in middle of June. Yep.
All right, I think Kimberly's got a question.
Is there a dollar limit on that payout for sick leave and the bonus pay? Do we get it all in a lump sum, or does it go into an annuity?
That is a great question. Do you want to take that one on the, do you know, it's $20,000, I believe, is the max that you can get in a payout. Anything above $20,000 goes into an annuity. Is that right? Okay. I think I got that right. So sorry. Okay. Hang on just a second. Let's see. They've got a follow-up question.
What would be the term of the annuity?
I'm sorry, say it again.
The term of the annuity.
The term of the annuity, do we know the answer to that question? So the annuity is set up through Voya, I believe, is the company that sets those up. We'll have to get an answer. If you'll contact us, we'll get an answer for you on the term of the annuity. Ladies, you had a question about the annuity here, did you? Did you get it? Okay, all right. Question back there, Kimberly.
I wanted to ask you about the unused personal leave. How does that work?
So you'll also receive a payout check for any personal leave. Is that also on the last paycheck? End of June, you'll receive a payout for the last person. Okay, any other questions? Yes, sir.
I'm sorry if I missed this answer. I was wondering if you choose to not take any of the monthly payments through TRS, is it possible to get a lump sum?
Oh, sorry. I should have been down there.
The lump sum amount is only what you have contributed plus interest into TCRS. If you do that, you forego any monthly checks forever, and you lose basically all your service credit.
Okay, we have a question through live stream. It's asking about additional pay assignments like coaching supplements. That would be included in your total salary that we report to TCRS. So if you have a total salary including multiple pay assignments, if you work in school-age childcare or if you're a coach, then that's the total amount of money that you're paid through Hamilton County Schools.
I just want to add this one story about that. There was a guy that retired, I'm not going to say the school district. His last 5 years, he did every coaching job, homebound learning, everything he could do. Didn't see his wife for 5 years. But at the age of 52, he was making more than the principal and retired with 30 years of service. Increased his high five by about $15,000 a year, which made a huge difference in his retirement check.
Okay, so hopefully that made our live stream person happy that asked that question. Any other questions? If anybody has any individual questions, feel free to come up to us after the event, and we'll go ahead and end the live stream at this point, and anybody that has any individual questions will be happy to stay around and answer any questions you have. Thank you.